that we can pick the best from the local league to represent Ghana. It's as if they don't understand that. And so they've been unable to strike the balance between bringing in players who play abroad and merging those players with local players who play on the local scene. They've been unable to strike that balance. And also, one of the reasons why they've been unable to strike that balance is if a local player is good but not managed by one of them, then they don't want them in the team. So there's lots of different problems. There's lots of issues. And, you know, in selecting the coaches, look, Otto Addo was there before, as you've said. And he came again despite the fact that the criteria that the GFA had publicized for the next coach they would appoint, he didn't meet hardly any of those criteria. But they appointed him because they could manipulate him, because they could interfere in his selection criteria. And I think that is true for everyone that Kurt Okrako has appointed. I believe that is true. I mean, recently we are hearing CK Akuno now talk about being very uncomfortable when he selected his players because it was scrutinized in such a way as if to say that perhaps he may not be competent enough and why has he left out X, Y, and Z. And, you know, he felt that they weren't working with him. He felt that they weren't working together. And I believe that is true of all the coaches that have been appointed. Otto Addo, knowing that he's the least experienced, was someone who initially said, oh, I'll go back to Germany after the World Cup. You know, I'm okay where I am. They bought him out of his contract. Unbelievable. They bought him out of his contract, brought him to Ghana here, and just manipulated the entire situation. So much so that in his last press conference, he's now trying to justify that he is a coach and he's not a scout and all these kinds of things. It's totally unnecessary.
Nana, since you are on the conversation about the GFA, yesterday, Kurt Okrako made a statement on his Facebook wall. Says that from the highest heights of world football on the 29th of March 2022 to the lowest ebb of AFCON qualifying matches, my heart bleeds. Definitely, this is not what we want or what we bargained for. At this point, only cool heads can win, and we as leaders of our sports will stay together, be honest with ourselves, and fix this problem. The road to full recovery after normalization is definitely bumpy and rough, but our collective efforts and patience will win, and Ghana, our beloved country, will win. As a Black Stars fan and as the leader, I share in your pain, and in our pain, we will rise from the temporary setback. It shall be well. Is this a statement that Ghanaians should even pay attention to? We are complaining about leadership issues in our football ecosystem, and you see the leadership always writing, always speaking, saying certain things. The latest is what he has written. It seems as if he's gaslighting the Ghanaian people, as if what is happening, what you are saying is happening, is actually not happening. It seems as if they are not looking at the leadership issue with the whole, with all that is happening. And he goes back on talking about normalization. It's been how many years since normalization? Should we still be riding on the back of normalization to justify certain things?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think that the statement just, you know, it just demonstrates his arrogance, to be perfectly honest with you, because, you know, in any serious country, the president of the Football Association would have resigned en bloc. But here, we don't know about resignation. It's the same with the coach. He should have just resigned after this match. But you see, they're looking at another picture, which is the possibility of qualifying for the World Cup. And with all that brings, because once again, it's going to be millions of US dollars pumped into the Ghana Black Stars while we desert all other sporting activities. We've got a minister too who at the moment, he's still the minister who is also so arrogant he wouldn't tell you what the budget is. And basically, it's just the runaround once again. He is gaslighting. He's not apologized for what's happened. He's just saying that he feels our pain. But he's not apologized. And Otto Addo has apologized under duress while he's tried to justify the fact that he is actually a coach, which none of us actually believe. I think that we've gone through so much propaganda under this administration. It's untrue. They've even had to appoint like 3 more people to go around and tell us, you know, the reasons why they should be there. But look, he knows, and we all know, and we saw it yesterday. They launched the Bring Back the Love campaign when he first came. You look at the number of people that were in the stadium yesterday, you will see that we have no love for the Ghana Black Stars. And it's not just an issue of players' poor performance. The main thing is about the management and what goes on behind the scenes of the senior national team. There's no love. Even if that gate was free yesterday, no one would have come in. And I'm sure no one even paid to go in there. When you look at the amount of people that were there, Accra, capital city of Ghana, and the senior national team is playing, and the coach said we were playing for pride, no one came. No one came. Because the love that they want us to bring back is no longer there, because we can all see that they're using the Ghana Black Stars as a vehicle to achieve their own selfish and parochial aims and objectives in life. And that's all born out of the monetization. So he should stop gaslighting us. You know, he should stop gaslighting us. He has failed. It's the truth, and it's nothing personal. He has failed as a GFA president after 5 years. His record is nothing to write home about. I mean, just imagine your legacy is, after 20 years, we, the Ghana Black Stars, who essentially we are fixtures and fittings when it comes to AFCON. That means we are always there. We are no longer going to the AFCON this time round. And everyone should resign.
To a certain point, Ghanaians were so unconcerned about some of the matches at a point, because now the Black Stars had become synonymous to failing. The Black Stars had become synonymous to playing a match that would be uninspiring. At this point where we've gotten to where our leadership is obviously lacking, do we need government to step in just like they did during the normalization?
Oh boy, well, that itself was a fiasco, I've got to be honest with you. But perhaps if that's the only way to press the reset button, then I think it would be best. Because look, they've presented us with the football philosophy of the GFA. They called it the DNA, and that DNA was written by the former technical director, I think Bernard Lippert or something like that, his name was. And after he presented all of that, after he did all of that, he is not here to implement it. Now the new technical director is Professor Minter. What does he do? Where is he? Because I haven't heard anything from him, because the problems on the fields are technical. What's his input into all of this? What does he have to say about all of this? Absolutely nothing. He's just there collecting a salary. He's collecting a salary. He's not, this philosophy, this DNA philosophy has not been implemented by anyone. By no one. You know, yet he is there. So, you see, the whole thing right across the board, it's a total sham. It's a total sham. And if it's the only way that we can press that reset button, then government should intervene. But we all know government isn't in any position to do anything at the moment. They themselves are gaslighting the entire country and the rest of the world. So, you know, where we are, we're between a rock and a very, very hard place. But, you know, I don't know where we go from here, because if people don't have the decency to say, look, let me hang up my boots and resign, I've tried and I failed, I don't know what next is going to happen, because people will hang their hopes on the prospect of qualifying for the World Cup because of what it will bring them individually, but not what it will bring to Ghanaians. Because let's face it, even if the 8 players plus the 3 on top who left and said they were injured, who didn't participate, even if they come back, look at the football that we are playing anywhere. It's uninspiring. It will not take us anywhere. What will we do in the World Cup? Indeed, if we had qualified for the African Cup of Nations, we all know we're not going to win it. We all know we are not going to win it. And we definitely will not be winning the World Cup either. So what are we going there to do? To waste more money to the benefit of a few and to the demise of everybody else? Is that what we're going there to do? Just to say, yes, we've gone to the World Cup again? I don't think we should worry ourselves about that, because the World Cup is a bigger stage than the African Cup of Nations, and we've been seriously embarrassed and humiliated in the qualifiers here. And if we do make it to the World Cup, there's more humiliation, and there's a much bigger serving of embarrassment to come, because there's nothing we can do in that.
Now let's look at transitioning from the under-20 to the senior team. We do not see that much in our football here in Ghana. You see with other nations, and you see how much they are investing in their junior teams, and you see the expression in their senior teams. Yesterday, in fact, the only goal we got was from an under-20 player. Beyond the failure that we are experiencing, beyond the embarrassment that our football team is subjecting the whole nation to, if there's any reprieve for us, if there's any respite, what can we do to smoothly transition our footballers from the under-20, from the junior teams into the senior team, so that in the near future we don't have to go back to the same begging players to come and play for us?
Well, you see, look, I think you'll probably remember it. I think in 2009 it was the under-20s won the World Cup.
Right.
And in 2010, when we were now going to South Africa, a lot of our players were injured. And so players from the under-20 were now merged into the senior national team. That was by default. Essentially, we don't promote the players from stage to stage to stage. We don't do that. We don't do that. It's not a part of our philosophy. The only time we've done it, it was because senior national players were injured. And so we had to bring those players from the under-20s. You look at what's happening now. That player is coming from the under-20. He's a second division player, in fact. But had it not been the fact that, you know, players had said they couldn't represent Ghana this time round because they were injured, that player, a free year, would have been watching on TV just like the rest of us. They would never have called him. But he's come and he scored a goal. He scored a goal on his debut. And there are lots of players locally that can come into the senior national team and make a fantastic impact. But they're not being given the opportunity because we don't promote players through the football pyramid like that, especially if we are not managing them. Because look, he scored 1 goal, he's come on as a substitute, he scored 1 goal. The prospects of clubs outside of Ghana wanting to take a closer look at him and offering him trials has increased by 100%. But who's the manager? Who's going to benefit from it all? That's the key thing. That's where the struggle is going to take place right now. Because they would want the current manager to step back so that they could now come and present the boy and everything would come to them. And that's how they've been working. So the transition from the under-17s to the under-20s to the under-21s to the under-23s, it doesn't really happen. Because really, players should even be coming from the under-23s. But when do they play football? What's happening with the under-23s? Nothing. Nothing is happening. You see? So we don't believe in that transition. The whole thing is self-centered. And I believe we must press the reset button because we have a football philosophy. We call it our DNA. It's also not being implemented. The technical directorate is bankrupt. It doesn't do anything. It has no impact on the football that we play locally or internationally or intercontinentally, but it is just there collecting a salary. Nothing within the GFA actually works. They will wheel out their propagandists to come and say this and that and what have you and question people who are criticizing, but apart from that we can see nothing is working at all.
Okay.
Nothing is working. So we need to press the reset button. We need to appeal to Curtal Kreku's better judgment so that he will understand that there's nothing personal in asking him to resign. We all want the best of our senior national team and all the other national teams. So we need to appeal to him to step down. We need to appeal to the coach to step down because we've given you a good run and you've not been able to deliver. You have failed, and not only failed, but woefully. Woefully. Internationally, people are calling this a serious embarrassment, a serious indictment. We were once a footballing nation. We were once called the Brazilians of Africa. All these accolades have gone out the window. All of them have gone out the window, to our shame.
Okay. Nana, thank you. We are grateful for your time this morning and for the insights into our football structure here in Ghana. We are grateful for your time.
Thank you very much.
Nana Kwaku Agyemang is a senior sports analyst. Now, unfortunately for Ghana, we are out of the running for the AFCON 2025. We failed to win even one match. And as it stands, we are out of it. We'll only be spectators when the AFCON begins. And that's our forefront story. We will be back. And when we are back, Derek Kumiki said we'll be bringing us the latest in sports. And Eric Melutrinebois will also follow with some health tips. Stay with us.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-on?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kamishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
3, 2, 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumiki Siedu, and yes, here at ABC News Ghana, we are your poll center, your credible election guide. Hashtag vote not violence. Let's do some sports now. Now, Ghana head coach Otto Addo has issued a heartfelt apology following the Black Stars' failure to qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON in Morocco. The team hopes were dashed after a 1-1 draw against Angola last Friday and a 2-1 defeat to Niger in Accra on Monday. Despite mounting pressure and disappointing results, Addo had previously refrained him from apologizing, instead taking a defensive stance before Monday's game. However, following the loss to Niger, the coach finally expresses regret for the team's underperformance.
Really, I would like to apologize for the results very much. If I have a wish, one wish, I know for a lot of people, even the World Cup is bigger than the AFCON. For me, personally, the AFCON is bigger. For me, personally, it's just a personal thing. I know for a lot of people, it's more important to go to the World Cup, and I did it once. And I'm just saying, after I did it for the World Cup, before even I came, a lot of people were against me. And I can show you 100 things, my friends, but nobody apologized afterwards. No, some few, not a lot. This is the first one. But I'm ready to apologize very, very much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that we didn't do well and we didn't qualify. I'm very sorry. This one, 100%. I really have to apologize because I know how much it means for every Ghanaian.
And now the president of the Ghana Football Association, GFA, Kurt Okweku, has admitted that all is not well with the Black Stars. His statement follows Ghana's 2-1 defeat to Niger on Monday in the final match of qualifiers for the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON. In a heartfelt post on social media, Mr. Okweku emphasized his administration's commitment to addressing the current challenges facing the national team. I quote, from from the highest height of world football on the 29th of March 2022 to the lowest ebb of AFCON qualifying matches. My heart bleeds. Definitely this is not what we want or what we bargained for. At this point, only cool heads can win, and we as leaders of our sports will stay together, be honest with ourselves and fix the problem, Kurt Okraku shared on Facebook. He further appealed for unity and collaboration in efforts to restore the Black Stars to their former glory. The road to fulfill full recovery after normalization is definitely bumpy and rough, but our collaborative efforts and patience will win, and Ghana, our beloved country, will win. As a Black Stars fan and a leader, I share in your pain, and in our pain we will rise from this temporary setback. It shall be well, Kurt Okraku assured. Now, Ghana ended the 2025 AFCON qualifier campaign without a single victory, a disappointing outcome that left the Black Stars at the bottom of Group F and eliminated them from the contention for the tournament in Morocco. Well, that's it for the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports updates, please follow our website at www.abcnewsghana.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu.
We are currently here at Kaneshie.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
221.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Only Bawumia can be trusted to protect and improve the free senior high school program. I want to take you on a trip down memory lane. In 2008, candidate Akufo-Addo promised that he was going to introduce education reforms, including the free senior high school program, if he was elected as president. From that election till about 2016, the NDC has consistently opposed the free senior high school.
The government has budgeted 2 billion cedis for free SHS for this academic year. If you have 2 billion more to spend on education, will you spend all of it on free SHS?
That Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
Sometimes they say it's just politics. But the big picture is that consistently they've been against it. In fact, in election 2012 and 2016, they sponsored several adverts trying to convince the people of Ghana, say free SHS no. Any.
Hello there, welcome. It's time to do some health tips on ABC in the morning. I'm Eric Chilibwa Melo, and the topic we're going to discuss is stress and hypertension. Now, these two never walk alone, and especially also that the Black Stars unfortunately failed to qualify for the AFCON. Many of you are upset, and if you don't take care, you will be getting hypertension. So let's delve into it quickly, okay? So hypertension is a silent killer that steadily progresses in body and also cause irreversible damage if unchecked. Now, of various factors that trigger hypertension in the body, the most common one is stress. Stress and hypertension are very much pervasive health issues that have affected millions of people worldwide. Now, the link between the two is somewhat intricate, since stress is both in the case of an effect of hypertension. Now, when we talk about all of these, it means that you also would have to be on the watch out, and there are symptoms that could actually trigger or tell you that you are at risk of getting hypertension. So most people with hypertension don't feel any symptoms. Very high blood pressure can also cause headache, blurred vision, chest pain, and other symptoms. But if you check in your blood pressure, it is the best way to know if you have high blood pressure. So if hypertension isn't treated, it can cause other health conditions like kidney disease, heart disease, and stroke. Now, one important thing you have to also consider is when you have a normal blood pressure, how do you even know? So the first thing is to check that your blood pressure is between 120 and 80 millimeters of mercury. It means that your blood pressure is stable between 120 and 80 mmHg, which is millimeters in mercury. Your blood is stable. Whereas it's above 120 to 129, that's millimeter of mercury, it means that your blood pressure is elevated, and that could cause a very serious harm to you as a person. All right, so you have to be on the watch out. If it's above 120 and 129, it means that you have crossed a certain boundary and you are at risk. Now, in stage 1 hypertension, the top number of ranges from 130 to 139. As I said, if you reach or cross 129 or 120 and surpass 130 to 139, that means you actually, unfortunately, are at the verge of dying, you know. So it's very important that you check your your blood pressure, so it prevents you from getting hypertension. Now, in stage 2 hypertension, the top number is 140 mmHg, which is the millimeters per mercury or higher, or the bottom number is 90 mmHg or higher. So people with very high blood pressure, as I said, between 180 to 120 or higher, can experience symptoms like I'm about to say. So severe headache, if you're experiencing severe headache, it means that something is telling you about your system. Frequent chest pain, if you're there, you're feeling chest pains here and there, go to your doctor and get checked. Dizziness, difficulty in breathing, all of a sudden you feel so nauseous, you're vomiting, blurred vision or other visions changes. Sometimes you can't even see properly. Anxiety, confusion, buzzing in the ears. All of a sudden it's like there's so much noise buzzing in your ears. You're not really so sure what is actually happening. Well, it may be a sign of hypertension. So if you're experiencing any of these symptoms and high blood pressure, seek care immediately. Now, the other way to detect hypertension is to have a health professional measure your blood pressure. Now, having blood pressure measured is quick and painless. Although individuals can measure their blood pressure using automated device, and evaluation by a health professional is very important for your assessment of risk and associated condition. Let me tell you one very funny story. So one person was there, a friend of mine, who actually said that she was very depressed and all of that, not knowing in the course of the depression, she actually was getting blood pressure. He went to the hospital. He thought he was just a normal individual, but when he got there, he had reached like 130, which means that even the depression or the breakup has even caused him to even get hypertension. So relatively, you might not know what could trigger you of getting hypertension. So just be on the watch out. So blood pressure higher than 180, 120, as I said, is considered a hypertensive emergency or crisis. So seek emergency medical help for anyone with this blood pressure. Untreated high blood pressure could increase the risk of heart attack. Now, no wonder we're actually experiencing a lot of strokes. Before, we used to say that strokes, if you get stroke, it means that you're crossing about 60 to 70. But this age, I mean, 20 years old is experiencing stroke. You know, that should tell you that hypertension really does not know about your age. So it's important to have your blood pressure checked at least every 2 years, starting at age 18 years and above. People really do a frequent checks on that. Unfortunately, also some people do not. Your lifestyle and habits, such as smoking, exercise, and eating well, also contribute and can also prevent and treat you from high blood pressure. So that's all we are talking about. I'm hoping that next time when we meet, we'll expand the conversation better about hypertension. But that's all for today. We will be discussing something insightful next time when we meet here on ABC in the morning. Well, until then, good morning. ABC in the morning continues shortly after this.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m. 12
ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5
the morning on ABC News GH. Up next is Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
Today on Ghana Speaks, we are opening the phone lines. Have your say. Call us on 053-916-1609. What are we opening the phone lines about? We're asking you to have your say on the Black Stars. The Black Stars have failed to qualify for AFCON for the first time in 20 years. So it means that next year's AFCON, Ghana will not be there. Our flag will not be represented. We'll only be watching as spectators. We won't be participants of the Africa Cup of Nations. Call us and tell us what you think about our performance so far, the Black Stars in general, but especially about our AFCON qualifiers that we played. Tell us what you think about the performance. When you call us, please turn down the volume of your TV so that we can hear you. Don't leave your TV volume up, otherwise there would be a lot of interferences in the call. So you can call us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Since we started the AFCON qualifiers, after one game, would say the next game will be better. We're even banking our hopes on the usual mathematics that Ghana likes to play, and we were praying that we would be able to do some calculations to get ourselves qualified, but it was not to be. Yesterday, Niger beat us 2-1. Very disappointing and disheartening situation. In the first time in 20 years, we will not be at the Africa Cup of Nations. We will not be in the Africa Cup of Nations. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Good morning.
What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
I'm called Patrick from Tamalin.
Okay. What do you have to say about the Black Stars?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity and good morning to your listeners. Black Stars not able to qualify for AFCON next year is good. It's good in the sense that the football administrators in this country, particularly the GFA, have made it clear that there is a road where they are blocking. They are covering it up. GFA in the last 7 years hired 6 coaches. How on earth will you hire 6 coaches within 7 years? And I think that all these 6 coaches you have hired, none of them is good or none of them is able to perform well. How? Come to look at our football even in this country. Our Coast League. You see, the time Ghana was performing well at the top, the Black Stars was performing very well at the top. Our Coast League was very, very competitive. People will move from area to area to go and watch Coast League. People will move. By then, you could see that all the children, all the youth were very, very active in football. And you could see the transition from under 17 to under 20 to the black settlers and all that. It was a transition. So the under 17 is not performing well. It's affecting the under 20. With the under 20 is feeding the Black Star players. So if the base is rotten, definitely the top will fall down. Okay. And that is what is happening. So until they go and sit down, come out with a very, very comprehensive plan. Let's go back and strengthen the coast, the foundation, where we will get players to feed up to the national team. This is what we're going to happen.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's another also have their say. You can call us 053-916-1609. Tell us what you think about the Black Stars. We have failed to qualify for the AFCON 2025. So far, in the past few years, how has the Black Stars performance been like? Are you impressed with them? And are you, like our first caller said, he says that indeed we should not be going for the AFCON because we have issues. Please turn down the volume of your TV so that we can hear you when you call. Otherwise, we would have to drop your call when you call. So call us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609, and turn down the volume of your TV. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, my name is Siaka. I'm calling from Kumasi.
Okay. What do you have to say about the Black Stars performance?
Actually, today is my first day watching ABC TV. Okay. And I will just say you guys are doing marvelous work.
Thank
and
you.
I will keep on watching your channel. My distance is very short. I think now Ghanaians now aware of the Black Stars problem was not about the Ayu brothers. 3 years down the line, how Ghanaians has not been fair to Ayu brothers, and actually they need to dig into the actual problem of the Black Stars. I think they need to look at the distance, they look at the coast, and that kind of stuff to develop the talent from the youth, so that they can emerge in the Black Stars team. If you look at from the Stephen Pierce and Michael Essien, Suleiman Dari, Aladi, all of them were distant, brought out from the coast. I think Ghanaians, we need to look at the coast so that we can solve the problem in the Black Stars.
Thank you. We need to look and solve the problem in the Black Stars. You to call us and have your say on the Black Stars performance so far. We have gotten to the point where we are not going to AFCON. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Good morning. I'm calling from Kumasi, Konsu.
What's your name?
My name is Gideon.
Okay. Have your say on the Black Stars. Hello, Gideon. Hello, Gideon. Okay, we have lost Gideon. You can call us on the numbers on your screen to share your view on the Black Stars. For football lovers, what does it mean to you that next year during the AFCON you will not be supporting Ghana? You would have to throw your support behind another country. Tell us what it means to you. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Hello, good morning. I am Ishmael calling from Swami in Kumasi.
Okay, Ishmael, have your say.
Right. For me, I'm not surprised about the outcome of the whole game because looking at the crop of players we have and really the technical team, I don't think we can do anything. That's why we couldn't qualify for this next year's AFCON. All we can do as a nation is to take a look at the lower level, the coast, the under-20s, the under-23, before we come to the national team. If you look at the likes of Michael Essien and co, you know how the progression was. They started from that lower level and then they graduated to the national team. So if you are not able to do that, it's not going to help the nation. And also another one too is the term or the term they use that football people. This thing started when the Kusina and Co at that time said that if you are not, or if you don't have a team, you cannot manage you cannot be at the FA. That's where the problem started. And that's where we are today.
So you believe we have to eliminate that portion of football?
You have to eliminate that. If you look at what they did to Dr. Nyao Kamaklo, it was them. They pushed him out when he was the FA president. They said, no, you have to be an owner of a club before you can be a GFA chairman or whatever it is. So we have to look at that one too, because look at the players. Almost all the players are the players of those management. The Black Star management team, yeah.
Thank you.
They are all their players. So if you are not part of them, you'll not be even called. Right. So that's my thought this morning.
Thank you for your submission. So you can also call us. Let's take a few more calls on the Black Stars. And in all of your conversations, I realize that most of our voices are down. It hurts that Black Stars will not be featured in the AFCON. But maybe this is a point for us to re-strategize, for us to look at the team and look at it holistically, look at it from a very broader perspective than we have already been looking at it. On social media, some were saying that it is good that we are not qualifying because we're going to pump so much money into that AFCON campaign. It is good that we are home. Let's pay attention. And if we are able to maximize the time and then be able to find some solutions, we'll be better for it. Ghana will be better for it. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Good morning. My name is called Gideon.
Gideon, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kumasi, Kunsuman, Kransu.
Okay. Gideon, have your say on the Black Stars.
Yeah, Black Stars, let me say they have done well, but right now, the way the Black Stars team is, like, let me say, now, like, olden days, it's not like nowadays. Now, they are not using a guy and then about their money or don't know how they are playing about because when the day you turn as for and when they were used to play, they were serious about the game and whatever they would do, they put their focus on it. But right now, they are not playing by stars or I don't even know how they are made their mind. They made their mind in playing. See, and the one thing about the Black Star or Ghana here is since somebody is not in here to.
Hello, Gideon. Okay, we seem to have lost Gideon, but he's also had his say on the Black Stars. Thank you for calling into the segment Ghana Speaks. You've had your say on the Black Stars. That's all. Business Fix comes up next.
key allocations.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter.
And on Business Fix today, we're looking at the Trades Advocacy Group Ghana. We are throwing some spotlight on their challenges and how it affects the whole trade industry or trade sector here in Ghana.
At the TAG office in Accra for a discussion with President Kwadwo Amoateng about challenges facing Ghana's trading community and the broader business environment. Amoateng emphasized the impact of COVID-19 on businesses and how traders have navigated through these tough times despite the challenges.
Anybody that tells you COVID has no impact, the person doesn't know what he or she is saying. One, the person is not exposed. Two, the person doesn't travel. The person doesn't do international business. The person doesn't know anything when it comes to business. Or maybe the person knows, but the person is doing mischief. See, prior to COVID, when I go to China, the hotel that I lodge in, I was paying $50 a night. After COVID, I went there March of this year, I was paying $95. You get it? During COVID, or prior to COVID, freight was about 3,000. That is the high season, like the season we find ourselves getting into the Xmas festivities. $3,000. But during COVID, or after COVID, it went as high as $16,000. It's now that by the grace of God that started declining, and it's about around $5,000. You get it? So COVID, yes, COVID came, and yes, now it's no more with us, but the impact, it will take a time. I am looking at maybe 2028, but now businesses, it has become hand-to-mouth business that we are doing. Because if, let's say, I used to get about 30% profit of every container that I sell, and now I'm doing 8%, you can imagine.
That's steep.
Yes, I'm doing 8%. And a lot of people, a lot of businesses has folded down. They folded up. They are down, they are not doing business again. Through it all, I always tell our people, God has been good to us. Once we have life, it means we can face tomorrow. So we do encourage our members, and we do also bring on board those who know when it comes to business, from the business school, Legon Business School, we have our doctors, we have our project directors, we have our policy directors that breaks government policies down for us to also tell our members, for them to be able to do their business when it comes to maybe pricing or the way they will be taking their stock and their bookkeeping.
He praised the government's support through the Ghana Enterprise Agency, which provided grants that helped alleviate the burdens of traders during the pandemic.
When COVID came and government through Ghana Enterprise Agency, and here let me pause and say thank you to Madam Kwesi Yankee. She did marvelously well, and she is one person that you can rely on. Just that sometimes she's also partial towards women. But it's all good. It's all good. But you shouldn't forget that it was a man that appointed her. But it's all good. She did well. They gave us some grant from 1,000 to 150,000, depending on how your business is. And we want to thank the president, because the president also issued an order that from 100 cities to 2,000 should be like a grant or a dash. So those people are not paying back. But those who got above 2,000 to 150,000, they are paying, and the percentage is just 3%. And it's something that the government did we need to applaud the government. Yes, it's something that helped. And one woman, you see, sometimes somebody might say, oh, what is 2,000? But a woman that got 2,000, used to sell onions. At that time, the 2,000 was able to buy, I think, 5 or 4 bags of onions. Today, if I tell you that woman can buy a truckload of onions, you won't believe it, but that is the reality. The 2,000 that the government gave to that trader, now the woman has, oh, last she brought some stuff. I beg you, you take it back. We are okay here. You brought some foodstuffs. You brought a whole bag of onions that we should share for our. I said, no, come on. We said everything that we could, but the woman left everything here. So we had no other option than to share. You get it? So those things are things that help the traders. And one thing that we also beseech the government and plead that, you see, when the COVID came, people were kind of surprised. Why? How much is the government giving you through Ghana Enterprise Agency that people are rushing? They were not rushing because of the quantum of the amount. It's because of the flexibility of the facility. Because the government gave us a year moratorium, said that the whole year you are not paying anything. But the following year, even if you are paying 3%. What is 3%? Everybody can pay. So that was the reason why people were rushing. It's because of the flexibility. So those are the things, the facilities that we wish government will also support us. If maybe government can go for even Eurobond, $1 billion for traders, we will appreciate it and we will pay. You see, when we expand, we create employment. When we create employment, taxes go up. So government can use the left hand to give the money to us and use the right hand to take the money. And this is the structure. We have importers, exporters, wholesalers, retailers, tabletop, and street vendors. Next time when you come and you have time, we will do a presentation and we will take you through the structure. So TAG is upon about 7 pillars: import, export, wholesale, retail, tabletop, and street vendor about 6.
Amoateng also raised concerns about the increasing presence of foreign traders in retail, which he believes goes against Ghanaian laws.
Well, if somebody says those foreigners, their goods are cheaper than ours, it's in 2 folds. One, in as much as their goods are cheaper than ours is quite quality than theirs.
How come?
Yeah. When you go to the market, you will see. 2, their goods can be cheaper in that if I am taking a facility and I'm paying 38% interest rate, and somebody from Far East Asia, China, is taking a facility and he has 5 years to start paying, definitely that person's goods will be cheaper than mine. But when you go to the market today, our goods are more quality durable than that of the foreigners. Because see, when you come to my church, about quite a sizable number buy from me. So if I bring in shoes that are not quality and they buy, what will happen? I have ministers that buy from me. I have CEOs, I have big guys that buy from me. Just take a look at Ghanaian businesses that bring in even shoes, that men's shoes. They are all of quality standards. You get it? My big brother also, well, you go there, you see quality shoe. You get it? Because he has friends that buy from him. So he cannot bring just any other thing. But these foreigners, do they have friends in Ghana? No. So they bring anything. And that is what I told you. Because of the level of our education and our system at this part of the world, the person that is going to buy the shoe cannot even differentiate between the quality one and the inferior one. But because, you see, what the Chinese do to us, that is hurting. When we bring in our shoes, then they will let a Ghanaian person come and buy one. Because they don't know the design that we know, they don't know. So they will buy it, go cut it, reduce the quality. But when the Ghanaian person, oh, but this is the same design. What about the quality? So the Ghanaian, they will go there, look at the design. Why? This is the same design. And this shoe that I brought in, they've done some to this shoe. You see this one? This is of higher quality. But I go to the market. The Chinese people have done some, selling this shoe 80 cedis. Here's the shoe I sell at 600 cedis. That if you buy this shoe, I can guarantee you this shoe will last more than 2 years. I go to the market, you will see the same thing, 80 cedis. So that is what they are doing to us. But you see, we live in a country that our big guys see no evil, hear no evil. Is it not surprising that we are here and the Chinese people are into Galamsey, hurting our water bodies, and nobody seems to care.
On the African Continental Free Trade Area, he sees it as a step in the right direction, calling for improved interest rates to support the expansion of local businesses.
Anybody that tells you Africa Continental Free Trade Area is bad, then the person doesn't know what he's saying. It's a good thing, but it shouldn't be there. There shouldn't be any full stop there. There should be comma, then you can continue. Okay. See, Africa Continental Free Trade Area is good, and it's better that we have it here. But what the government need to do, I have elaborated on it. See, go to Egypt, go to Kenya, go to South Africa, go to Mauritius or Botswana, and compare their interest rate to that of Ghana. Okay, let me cancel all those countries. Go to Nigeria. Look at the proximity. Nigeria is doing about 12 to 15% interest rate, and Ghana we are doing 32, 35. So if all Africa, we are trading in one market, and somebody takes a loan, a facility from a bank, the person is paying 7%. I take the same facility in my country, I'm paying 35%. Can I compete with that person? So having the headquarters here is not enough. But we have to do more so that the Ghanaian businessmen, those who have factories and industries, they can expand. Because imagine you selling to 33 million and now you have more than 1.2 billion customers. The first thing that business person will need is a good facility, a low interest rate facility. If not even a year moratorium and the person is paying up to even 10%, then it will go a long way to help that businessman to do expansion.
Kwadwo Amoateng called for the heads of the governor and the head of banking supervision at the Bank of Ghana. He blamed the banking sector cleanup and forex shortages on poor supervision, leading to unapproved forex rates and illicit dealings with black market operators.
I don't want to waste my energy on Bank of Ghana. Because you see, if you're a serious country, there are some people there that should be in jail now. Yes. Why? If we have head of banking supervision and that person sit down, because if you're head of banking supervision, if Bank of Ghana will take any decision, it's based on a report. So if you sit there for those banks to collapse, and some of those managers or CEOs of those banks, they are facing prosecution. What about the head of banking supervision? What about the somebody whose responsibility it was to see to it that they do the right thing. That came to report that everything is okay. That person should be facing prosecution. If he did not report that everything was okay, why was the former president pumping money in, giving them money? And even when you listen to vice president, when they came, they saw. But later they saw that, hey, we have to take a second look. So the head of banking supervision and the governor, then, don't you think something should happen to them? Or you should pay people fat salary, somebody who take more than the president, and they are there. Look at now what is going on. Bank of Ghana, you give dollars to, or let me say forex, to these commercial banks. Maybe you do it 15.4. Can't you place a seal that I am giving to you 15.4? You can't sell beyond 16. But they will leave it ajar. Then the commercial bank can sell at any amount that they want. And a businessman looking for even forex, it can take you 2 weeks. They can't even get you the rate. The bank that I'm saving, I want to transfer money and you can't give me rate. You ask them for forex, they don't have. But that manager will be quick in telling you, oh, this allergy is here. So what is the head of banking supervision at Bank of Ghana? What is he doing? What is he doing? So there we have a lot to do, but that's all. Bank of Ghana, the least said about it.
So that's all for Business Fix. We had a conversation with the Trades Association, the Trades Advocacy Group Ghana, on some of the challenges traders are going through and what can make their lives easier. We'll bring you more on the conversations with them. But that's all for Business Fix this morning. Let's take a short break. When we are back, the main discussion starts.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, number 1.
Vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
This morning, our main discussion, we're looking at addressing the education sector challenges political parties offering. They all want to be the leaders of the nation. A candidate wants to be president. And as the upcoming elections approach, one of the key issues on the table is education. For these persons who want to be president, what are they offering? Political parties are offering various proposals to address the challenges faced by the education sector, from inadequate infrastructure and outdated curricula to teacher shortages and unequal access to quality education. With education being a cornerstone for the future of any nation, voters are keen to understand how each party plans to enhance the system, improve outcomes for students, and ensure that the workforce of tomorrow is equipped with the skills needed to thrive. In this discussion this morning, we will explore the promises and plans of the various political parties to address these pressing concerns and transform the education landscape for the better. Just recently, the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, made a damning revelation where he claimed some 22,000 bags of expired and repackaged rice were distributed to senior high schools across the country in February this year. According to Honorable Ablakwa, the National Food Buffer Stock Company conspired with a company known as Lamens Investments African Limited to carry out the disservice. However, the ministry says they have investigated the allegations and there is no truth to it. According to the Ministry of Education, the Food and Drugs Authority cleared the 22,000 bags of rice as wholesome for consumption despite the expiry of the best before date. So let's engage political parties to see what they make of this development and how they intend to address this issue and other several challenges in the education sector. Because education, obviously, is the backbone for any society to grow. When you educate your children, you are assured that you have set them up for life to a certain extent. Recently, we've heard the government plans on launching some 80 education policies, projects that will help the education sector. This is what the government of the day is doing. In their various manifestos, these political parties had a lot to say about education. The NPP continued about the NPP mentioning that they will continue the free SHS. The free SHS will not end. They have drummed it home that it is here to stay. The NDC has also spoken about free SHS and the fact that it must be progressive and done in a manner that adequately helps the beneficiaries of the program. All in all, the political parties have something for the education sector. Let's start off our conversation with Louisa Kwache, who is a communications team member of the National Democratic Congress. Good morning, Louisa. Thank you for your time on ABC in the morning. Louisa, please unmute so that we can hear you adequately.
I have unmuted myself.
Okay, we can hear you.
I'm not unmuted.
Okay, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you too.
Before we even get into the conversation about what your party has for the education sector, a member of parliament who belongs to your party made some revelations about expired food items, that expired rice that was distributed to senior high schools across the country. How does the NDC receive such news?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say good morning to your credible outfits and every Ghanaian who may have the opportunity to chance on this interview. So my political party, the National Democratic Congress, is a party with the ideology of a social democracy. So everything that is empowering the general good of the people is what we uphold. That fact being established, what I mean to say is that the NDC will never, I reiterate, will never abolish or cancel the free senior high school policy. That fact also being established, what we mean to do with the policy is to make it better, to fill in all the lapses of the implementation we are seeing. So the issues with the expired rice, I would say that it is the stock in trade of the NPP. So it is rather surprising that a couple of people would also be surprised of such an outcome. We as a political party have always maintained that the issues that affect the policy's implementation, that's the free senior high school, is one, stemming out of accommodation, two, feeding, and then three, a lack of a sustainable fund for the implementation of the policy. So if you look at the issues that I've laid out, feeding is a major problem. Because when the policy started, we had issues of matrons, students, headmasters coming out to tell us that the feeding issues are compounding day in, day out because their suppliers cannot be paid. So the government brought in another aspect of the policy that sought to centralize the disbursement of food items. So the buffer stock at a certain point gives out the food to every schools around. So if you look at the Moshosho rice scandal that is ongoing, you realize that they sought to repackage expired products, and then the central point for distribution was percent. I asked myself a lot of questions, and I haven't listened to the education ministry talk about this issue. I would say it is rather unfortunate, and it is stemming out from an insensitivity point of view, because the Moshosho rice is coming from India, and the country of origin and the company who package the rice and are selling the product knows best. And per their laboratory test, they say that the product is going to be expired in December 2023. So in December 2023, the product is going to expire. Then we bring the products to Ghana, and knowing whatever evil orchestrations we want to undertake, we plan on repackaging, the emphasis on repackaging an expired product. And what did we seek to do? They sought to change the expiry dates from the December 2023 to 2024 April, though we are told by the Ministry of Education. And they claim that the last batch that was sent out for supply was in February. So if we supply products that are expired in February to the various schools, how sure are we that their fake expiring dates, new expiring dates that they put on the new repackaging label, which is in April?
Okay.
How many schools will finish consuming the food items before April? You give in February, how many schools will finish consuming it in April? And looking at videos circulating of the state of the rice, what I ask myself is, as leadership, will we consume these products?
Okay. Louisa.
Louisa. Hello.
Yes, a moment. We are joined by Kofi Tonto, a member of the NPP communications team. Kofi, you are welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. Kofi, I'll come to you shortly. Let Louisa land, and then I'll also take your submission on the revelation by Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa about the expired rice that was distributed to the various senior high schools. Louisa, back to you.
So from where I was interacted, welcome, Kofi. So the issue I'm talking about is, if we give out expired products under the guise of a new repackaging with a new expiry date out to people, we as leadership of the nation, Ministry of Education, the presidency, people who are supposed to oversee the affairs of the nation, would they consume expired rice? The health issues that are related to the infected rice that was shared to our children, our nieces and our nephews. are numerous.
Okay, right. Let me take Kofi.
Are we taking into consideration? Let me land on this point. The issue is that the main key objective, I want to highlight two key objectives for the free senior high school policy. One is accessibility. We want it to be accessible for everybody to have access to it. And then two, to alleviate poverty from parents for paying school fees. So what I ask myself is, now making it accessible, does it mean that we are shelving quality for accessibility? Alleviating poverty from parents, are we saying that we are subsidizing alleviating poverty from parents to giving expired goods to kids? That will later compound health issues. So a buy one, get one free kind of issues every day, day in, day out with the implementation of the policy.
Okay. Obviously, we get your point. So let me listen to Kofi too, so that he's not on the line so much without speaking. Kofi, the MP for North Tong says that the food has been distributed to senior high schools, expired rice, and the ministry is complicit in it. The Free SHS Secretariat did not do their work as they should. Yesterday we had a conversation, and our guest said that everybody who is supposed to be taking care of our senior high schools are complicit in it because they did not do the work they had to do. Give me your thoughts on this alleged distribution of expired rice.
Yeah, very good morning to you. I'm here to see details of the information Ablakwa has put out and the authenticity of same. And I'm here to even see a statement from the Ministry of Education, whether contesting or accepting that allegation. And let me also put it on record that anything that seeks to undermine the health of any Ghanaian is something that we must take very seriously. If somebody is to feed another person with expired food, especially if it is deliberate, it is something that we must take extremely seriously. 1, identify the cause of it. 2, establish whether there is a prima facie. And then 3, if there is, prosecute such people to serve as a deterrent. We must at no time put the health of any Ghanaian in jeopardy, because the very existence of this nation is premised on the fact that we are all alive. There are 33 million of us who are alive. So anything that jeopardizes our health care literally jeopardizes the very existence of this nation. So without having all the details, I just want to put this information out there, that if it is true, then that will be my position on the issue. But I'm here to establish the authenticity and the accuracy of that, because the person behind it is chief propagandist and is a chief populist whose relevance thrives on sensationalism. He literally lives on being sensational. So sometimes when he puts out information, you have to be very, very, very careful on how seriously you take that information. So I will wait for the ministry to respond, and then we can further interrogate it.
Okay.
But let me also put it out there that within the next 3 weeks, you are going to see more of such allegations. I mean, literally. I mean, a day will not go by without you seeing such allegations. The NDC tried to steal the free SHS because all their internal pollings showed that the free SHS was going to, its impact on the Ghanaian is going to be first time this vote now, because this is a time where we've seen a full cycle of young people going through free SHS and graduating from university in the last 8 years. So parents are now beginning to see the true impact of the free SHS. So they know. And that is why about 6-7 months ago, they deliberately came out to make a claim that they brought free SHS, even though factually we all know that they didn't bring free SHS. They tried to steal it. That's who they are. There are people who are constantly looking for successes, steal and lay claim to it. You go around, all the achievements of Ronaldo, flower pot interchange, this and that, then they will quickly come and latch on it to try and steal or take credit for it. Go on social media, it abounds. You know, even things that President Rawlings did, President Mills did, they have appropriated such for Mahama because they are bent on giving him credit for everything and anything. But why am I saying
Okay, Kofi, we'll come back to you, but let me come back to you, Louisa. On this issue about the distribution of rice, the Chief of Staff, Raymond Paris, says that the NDC is just doing this to score cheap political points. The question is the NDC making a fuss out of nothing, seeing as the Ministry of Education has come out to speak about this issue extensively?
Okay, before I go on to answer your question, there are some allegations that have been leveled against honorable persons on this platform, and some falsehood put out there that needs correction. So if Kofi says that Honorable Lokujeta Blakwa is known for being a propagandist, it is quite surprising that this morning a pot will seek to paint the kettle black. We were all around when we had the issues of Senate, which he came out to give us the details, and it ended up that whatever he said was the reality. So based on that fact that has been established now, it is a fallacy to say that Lokujeta Blakwa, the Honorable, is a propagandist. And then two, he misclaims that the NDC have not done anything, and seeing how far they have come with the free senior high school policy, they would want to seek it and then claim some political points with it. As a journalist and a media outfit, I expected some clarity to the issue. What it is that it is a fact that the NDC launched progressive free senior high school policy in this nation, that the president of the land, who belonged to the party of Kofi, came to applaud the president Mahama. So on the records, I would want to quote the exact fact. So on September 17, 2015, which was a Thursday, at a Kofi Ochiam in the central region, President Mahama launched a policy that was called the Progressive Free Senior High School. And then everyday students who was under the selection of that progressive implementation enjoyed free senior secondary education. So that is the fact. The difference is clear, and the difference is that while the NDC sought to implement that policy progressively, the NPP sought to implement the policy on a wholesale. Back to the question on the Chief of Staff, Raymond Paris. It is very saddening and sickening that a woman would want to allude an issue that is a crisis to the health of our children, an issue that is the intent of our governance, an issue that is projecting our nation as a nation that is essential for the health of its citizens, not to talk of the future generation, allude it to cheap political issue. The Ministry of Education is launching an investigation into the issue. Ghana Standards Authority, the FDA, are saying that what the problem was is that they extended the expiry date of the rice. So where are the lies in these issues? Where is the NDC trying to score cheap political points? If somebody is trying to score cheap political points here, then obviously it is the NPP. Because as is evidence of how they've carried themselves throughout the 8 years, every issue that are compounded in this nation, they allude it to the NDC. So key question I want to ask Kofi and the government this morning is that if any problem that is happening in this nation is the NDC, why are they in government? What are the government solutions? A certain outfit, I have labeled about 3 outfits that have failed woefully in the going about their duties as mandated by our laws and regulations in this nation. First up is the Ministry of Education Nigeria. These people are supposed to be the implementers of the free senior high school policy. So if anything of this sort is happening, they should launch an investigation. People who are perpetrated or looked over for this mess to happen need to be brought to book. 2, the Food and Drugs Authority. How is it possible that food that has been expired, labeled by a company and the nation of origin, we seek to expend it to our people to consume it, knowing the health implications that comes with it? Right. Ghana Standards Authority. So everything is coming down to the fact that government, the presidency, as the supervisory role they are supposed to play, overseeing government institutions and the daily activities of the nation, have failed.
Okay, government has failed. Louisa, let me welcome Solomon Owusu of the Movement for Change. He's joining us, Senior Communications Officer for the Movement of Change. Solomon, thank you for joining us this morning. You are welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. So back to you, Louisa. In just 5 seconds, land so that I pick Solomon's thoughts too.
So if a government that has been in government for over 8 years has nothing, absolutely nothing, has built 0 hospital, consuming these expired products come with these own health challenges, the people have to go to the hospital. Which hospital do they take them to? Have they been able to get a single hospital operationalized and running that I can look into OPD now, take a card and see a physiologist? Is this the case? That is not the case. So what I am saying this morning, holding on this note, is that the NPP as the government have failed woefully with the implementation of the policy, and they are hiding behind the evil and the nation-wrecking attitude of playing adverts that says the NDC will abolish senior high school, which is never the case, and we have stated on various platforms that the policy is here to stay and we are here to make it better. And thirdly, what I would want to tell them, Kofi and his government this morning, is that you can fail at everything, but if you put the health issues of our future generation at risk, it goes beyond cheap politics. It is the attributes of a nation maker.
Louisa, let me ask you, in the wake of all of these challenges that have come up about free SHS, what is the Movement of Change looking to do differently than has been done in the education sector, in the hopes that you become the leaders of the nation come December 7?
Thank you very much. Let me say that we all agree that the free SHS is a good policy. From the Movement of Change perspective, we see it as a good policy because the policy that is contained in our Constitution, if you read Article 25, it mandates any government to ensure that there is free compulsory basic education. And now we define our basic education to include secondary education. In fact, this must be up to the tertiary level. From the Movement for Change perspective, we believe that ever since the free SHS policy was introduced in 2017, there has not been any comprehensive review of the policy to know the infrastructural deficit, the financial requirement, the training requirement, and the institutional architecture of the whole policy. So from our perspective, we intend right from day one to conduct a comprehensive review of the free SHS to ascertain the levels of infrastructure that we need to be able to close the gap. As we speak, students in various secondary schools attend dining halls at different times, which should not be the case. As we speak, various rooms that were not meant for accommodation are now being utilized by various schools to accommodate students, which must not be the case. So we intend to do a thorough, comprehensive review, a thorough assessment of the infrastructure needs, and when we are done with that, we would be able to provide. Again, as we speak, the government has not been able to come up with any audit that estimates the total amount of financial commitment needed to deal with the issues of or the policy of free SHS that we intend to do. Again, that is one of the reasons why in our great transformational plan we have a policy like the new agricultural revolution. You see, there has to be policy coherence. You are implementing free SHS. It's a good policy. But that free SHS must benefit the economy of Ghana. How does it benefit the economy of Ghana? It must improve the income levels of local farmers. As we speak, the sort of food that we feed our students with are mostly imported. How can we be implementing a policy in Ghana and those that are benefiting from the policy are people living outside the country? So Alan intends to tackle the food needs of these secondary schools by introducing what you call the agricultural revolution, where secondary schools themselves who have abundant lands will be aided to, as it were, grow their own crops, foods to feed them. Beyond that, farmers within the localities of these schools would also be assisted through public partnership to engage in commercial farms, which produce would be bought to feed in secondary schools. By so doing, you are empowering the local farmer to be financially sound. Then again, you would also have to understand that the main reason why government is committing more resources into this policy called the free SHS is to get an educated society. Now, as it fits, the products from the free SHS are not even getting jobs too. They finish secondary school and move straight away to the universities, and after the universities and they do their national service, that is the end of their life cycle. They have no decent employment. Under the Great Transformational Plan, the Movement for Change proposes 4 ways of making the free SHS relevant. The first is that having gone through the free SHS policy for 3 years, when you finish school...
Solomon,
hello?
Can I hold you here? Let me ask Kofi the same question. Come back to you and you give us those 4 ways by which you will be improving the free SHS.
All right.
So, Kofi, thank you for staying with us. The NPP government, you're looking at breaking the 8 and extending your time as the government of the day. You have said time without number that education is the bedrock on which you build your government. Entering into 2025, when you become, or if Ghanaians vote for you during the elections and you become the president of the nation, what is the NPP government going to do better about our second cycle institutions so that we find a better and full expression of this policy?
Okay, I would like to answer that quickly, but then I also want to address some of the falsehood that Louisa put out. Very quickly, we are looking at even how we build infrastructure. If you look at the current state-of-the-art infrastructure we are building, it is a new way of learning. I'm sure you've seen some of the buildings that we've completed. I'm sure you've seen the investment we've made in STEM education with the onboarding of Abu Mosu, state-of-the-art senior secondary school, Person Bay, Awaso, Weja is just about completed, East Legon STEM school, etc., etc. Anybody who is a third objective will see the transformational efforts we have made in education in terms of curriculum, making sure that students are not just learning the liberal aspect, but they are learning the STEM, the robotics, artificial intelligence, etc. The learning environment has been completely transformed, building state-of-the-art infrastructure that is up-to-date and modern for new ways of learning. So when it comes to free SHS, when it comes to the secondary level education, these are the steps we are taking. Also, TVET education, we have increased enrollment from 60,000 to 160,000. Additional 100,000 young people have been enrolled in TVET education. We have retooled 32 TVET schools. Go to Dansoman, go to Pechi number 2, go to Enyinam, go to Ashaman, etc. Either newly built or old and retooled. And we are now building 34 new TVET institutions from scratch. This is the way where we are taking Ghana's education to. So I will answer you very shortly on that. And then very quickly, let me go back to the lies that Louisa peddled this morning. Look, Louisa, you didn't start free SHS. And let me educate you one more time. What you said was that you started progressively free SHS. Even that progressively free SHS was not free. It was discounted. My sister, as a host, let me take a few seconds to educate our listeners. What the NDC did was they took the total amount of tuition and paid 50 cedis. Hear me well. 50 cedis out of that amount. The amount was 485 cedis of tuition. And the NDC paid 50 cedis out of that. That is what Louisa is calling free education? I mean, have the NDC forgotten the meaning of the word free? The word free means free. If you discount or subsidize a student's tuition by a mere 50 cedis, that amount to free. Or you people don't know the meaning of free anymore.
Hello, Kofi.
Price of the item, please, I'm coming. The price of the item is 485. And the seller tells me that he or she is giving me 50 cedis of it discount. Will I be able to say that product is free? We'll leave it to the Ghanaian to judge. Number 2, Louisa says that we haven't built a single hospital. Louisa, please pay attention to your boss, Sammy Jemfi. He went and sat on Metro TV and peddled same falsehood just last week. And he was embarrassed, completely embarrassed. Look, I'll tell you, as I'm speaking to you, I was in Achiase in the eastern region, right next to Ofuasia Yerebi. When Achiase was commissioned, I was standing there, MEM commission. Swami, when you come to Swami, Akontomra, Tolon, Sola, Sabronumu, Drobonso, these are all places, 47 new hospitals this government has built from scratch, and we have completed 16 that we inherited. Eurojet, one regional hospital, we have completed it. Fomena, we have completed it. It was started by President Mills and Mahama. We have completed it. We have completed it.
Kofi, we seem to be having some challenges with your line. Let's establish better contact with you so that you can continue with your submission. Let me come to you quick, Solomon, on this issue of free SHS, so we close it there and move on to more conversations. You mentioned that there will be some 4 ways. You're looking at 4 ways by which to improve the free SHS. Let us know those 4 ways.
So I was saying that the products of these free SHS must be put to good use. First of all, we propose that beyond the free SHS, there has to be a 1-year mandatory apprenticeship where students that want to engage in apprenticeship are aided by the government to engage in that. Those that also wants to be in the military or the service industry or the security industry, they would also be engaged there so that they go through the formalities. Those that want to enter into business, there will be a fund purposely set up to give to these students to engage in their own business, and also backed by training through the various business resource centers. And last but not the least, those that also wants to pursue their academic progression are aided in that direction. If we do not do all this, we would only be producing students who will be lying idle like we are having today, and that will make the investments go waste. And that is what we comprehensively will deal with, so that we make the free SHS beneficiaries, the Ghanaian.
Okay. Louisa, let's look at your party's manifesto on education. You're hoping that you will come back into power to continue the work you already were doing before you left. We have issues in the education sector, issues about infrastructure and all. What is the NDC preferring to the Ghanaian that should make them the topmost choice when it comes to education, for Ghanaians to say that because of this policy or because of what the NDC has captured, we will vote for them during the 7th December elections?
Okay, so let me make this point clear once again that the free senior high school policy is here to stay. Whether it was started progressively as a wholesale document, the road is in our front and we are looking forward. So what will the NDC do differently this time around? We are saying that the policy lacks a dedicated and sustainable sources of funding. So that is how come suppliers will complain, matrons and people who supply food items are complaining. So if we have a sustainable, dedicated source of funding for the policy, then it means that every issue that comes with funding will be a thing of the past. And then secondly, we are saying that the double track system that is stemming out of the fact that we do not have enough infrastructure to go on with the policy successfully, we are saying that we are going to rope in the private sector, the various private schools that were in our system, and due to the fact that the free senior high school policy is only ongoing in public schools, so parents have no choice than to move their wards from private schools to the various public schools. That causes a surge in the numbers we are seeing in the public schools. So if we are bringing the private schools on board, it means we are leveraging on the infrastructure so that the policy can be implemented more smoothly. And then again, we say,
let me ask you about the private schools. When you say private schools, which of the private schools will fall under this policy? There are so many private schools in the country that offer second cycle education, some paying in thousands of cedis, some paying in dollars and all. So when you say private schools, which ones will be finding expression under the NDC's plan?
So you just a quick one to rectify something you just said, some paying in dollars. You will know that the schools that pay in dollars are not schools that are running our kind of curriculum. You realize some of them are running British curriculum, some of them are running the American system of education. But if we are talking about private schools being roped into the policy, we are talking about the normal private schools that are running the Ghana Education Service System of Education. So they are the people who will be roped into the policy. So that most of them that have been out of business, most of them that have scanty students now, because the majority of people are now in the public schools, we bring all of them on board. One thing is that aside leveraging on the infrastructure, these are also entrepreneurs and people who are leveraging on education as their economy. So we'll be empowering these people as well to keep our local economy running. So aside that, we were starting some 200 e-blocks that we had 47 completed the commission. We are saying that as a matter of urgency, we are going to complete the outstanding e-blocks that have been left to rot in the various communities. So completing that, and then there are other schools that have various lands that can extend their infrastructure. So you look at our various public schools that are in the system, the traditional ones, you realize most of them have vast lands. So we could extend their infrastructure so they can accommodate more people, and the issues of children not having enough contact hours, the reason for the double track system, not having enough places for accommodation, the reason for the double track system will be a thing of the past, and we can successfully abolish the double track system. Go back to a calendar where students of the second cycle institution can have more contact hours with their teachers and enhance the quality. Okay. Then thirdly, we are saying that as part of the things that we are going to do to make this policy stand out as it's supposed to be, every aspect of digitalization will be incorporated into the policy. So we are saying that once that conversation of we are cancelling this and that is being started by the NPP, when in fact they didn't understand our stance on reviewing the policy, is that we say that instead of centralizing the distribution of food items, we are going to decentralize it. So people can get access to food items in their various localities, boosting local economies as well. So we will not have to now gather food items such as tomato and pepper we could get in our localities to a centralized point. The schools will now have to spend extra money on the prices of fuel that have already soared to transport their cars to the centers for their food items. It is decentralized and they can get access to food items as and when they need it in their local economy. The continuation of the laptops and the tablet policy will still be ongoing. We are going to make sure that the laptops will be given to everybody. And just as we said, after the free senior high school policy, we agreed that because of that policy, there is a surge in the number of graduates we have from the second cycle institutions. Now, when they are done with these high numbers, where do we expect these students to go to the
well, Louisa, one of the questions I want to ask, I want to find out about it. Anytime we are speaking about this issue about education sector, after we have dwelt so much on the students, we are dwelling so much on them because obviously they are the stakeholders. Sometimes we forget about our teachers. There may be a very tall list of the policies, the plans, the ideas we have for the students, and then it sort of is like an afterthought of the teachers. We bring one or two things for them. The issues about conditions of services for teachers so that they will be comfortable in the work they are doing. We want to place emphasis on that and also understand how that aspect can be looked at wholly so that they too can fully give to their students. We understand how much second cycle institution teachers complain about things not going as well as they would want. Their conditions of service are not the optimum. They are not what they would have loved it to be. What are the various candidates going to be doing for our teachers? Questions that we must be asking. There are some places that even at the basic level, teachers don't want to go there. What are the candidates going to do? What are the political parties going to do for teachers? We've lost Louisa, but Kofi is on the line. Let's have some conversation with Kofi on that. Kofi, welcome back. Hello, Kofi.
Yeah, hello.
Yes. Kofi, we've dwelled on our students for long. Very. Yes, Kofi, please turn on your camera so we can see you. We've dwelled on our students for long. Let's look at our teachers and their conditions of service. In as much as we are building all of the policies around our students to make sure that they have good education, without the teachers, students are not there. The NPP wants to continue Bawumia being the leader of the NPP if the NPP wins the elections. What will he do differently that teachers can say that this government came and they centered on us and made our lives better?
Okay, well, this calls for a deep dive into our manifesto. I mean, and I'll be more than happy to make time to dive deep into it. I don't have the manifesto right next to me, and so if when my sister is speaking, I'll open the appropriate page, and then I'll take you through what we are going to do for teachers. Now, what I know for sure is that since we came, the investment we've made is about hiring 8,000 people into the teaching profession. We've made sure that whatever allowances that they have to be paid, we've paid it. In fact, their research allowances, etc., we have made sure to pay and increase such allowances at the university level. Recently, a professor reached out to me detailing out the degree of impact the MPP has made in terms of teacher, when it comes to teachers and their allowances, etc. But the bottom line is that we want to, the bottom line in terms of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision is that we recognize the importance of the teacher. We recognize the importance of developing the teacher. For example, the licensure exams, we brought it not as a way to punish teachers, but as a way to improve on their capabilities.
Kofi,
and
we still are unable to see you on the call.
Yeah, my sister, where I am now, I cannot put my Zoom on.
Okay.
I was supposed to be a phone call, but the network is very bad. So
okay, please go
I've
on.
connected my Wi-Fi, and you sprung a lot of surprises on me, because from Okudjato's rise to now teachers, these were not the topic items your producers gave me, but I'm trying my best to engage and provide the requisite answers.
And we appreciate that.
The point is that Dr. Bawumia's effort is to ensure that we develop the teacher by making sure they have the requisite information, the requisite teaching materials, etc. And you see, one way of also helping the teacher is using modern ways of education. One way of helping the teacher is providing the tools. So aside from investing in the teacher and making sure that they have the requisite training, education to teach, aside from making sure that their welfare is taken care of, I can tell you that the number one thing every teacher needs is the tools to work with. See, teachers love their salary, of course. Teachers love their self-development, of course. But what a teacher loves most is to be able to impact a life. And how can a teacher impact a life if he or she doesn't have the resources? And that is why Dr. Bawumia believes in expanding the resource allocation in terms of TVET, in terms of STEM, in terms of material. So, for example, the perennial challenge of always having to buy textbooks and students missing textbooks, why don't we put all of that on a laptop and make sure every student has a laptop? Aside from that, making sure the teachers have a laptop, and that's why government subsidized for all teachers to get laptops, etc. So invest in their growth, personal growth, and then also make sure that the students have the resources for the teachers to be able to teach them, and give the schools the equipment. That's why we are building the right schools with the right learning environment. If you go to the East Legon STEM School and you see the building we've constructed, I mean, you'll be amazed. If you are a teacher, that is the right environment you want to be in to be able to teach your wards. So these are all the things that overarching strategy. Once I get the opportunity, I can take you through the details. Right. But the overarching strategy is multi-pronged. One, give the teacher the resources they need, improve their personal growth and personal lifestyles. Two, give them the tools to do the work they have to do. Three, give the students the tools and the resources for them to learn. Once all of these things come together and you improve contact hours, for example, when it comes to free SHS, when we hired more teachers, what happened was that we were able to improve contact hours, which is the time a teacher gets to engage with a student. You can have a teacher, but if the contact hours are not sufficient, the student will not have the requisite education that they need. But that's the overall strategy behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's approach when it comes to improving the welfare and the teaching and learning experience.
Kofi.
Now, when I was speaking before, very quickly,
when
I was speaking before, I wanted to clarify some of the lies Louisa was peddling. I mean, it shocks me that Louisa will sit on such a big platform and peddle falsehood. Louisa said categorically that the MPP has not built a single hospital. I mean, look, if
the key word is operational.
Okay, Louisa. let me give you one operationalized. Okay, if your issue is about operation. When we came into power, Prof. Mills had built UGMC Phase 1, but it was not operationalized. In fact, when President Mills went to commission it, he said it in his address at the commission that he is commissioning this facility, but it is not operationalized, and he's counting on Akufo-Addo to come and operationalize it. That's one. Two, Phase 2. Please, let me answer the question. I have so many hospitals that we've operationalized. I'm going to tell you. But I just want to let you know, even the ones that you take credit for, we operationalize them. Number 2, Phase 2 of UGMC. We built Phase 2 of UGMC from scratch. And operationalized Phase 2. That cost 40 million euros. And we spent $30 million to operationalize Phase 1 and 40 million euros to build and operationalize Phase 2. Now, nephrology and urology center at the hospital Korle Bu was just last month commissioned. Nephrology and urology center in Korle Bu. This government. 3, Imim. 4, Achiase. 5, Swami. 6, Drabonso. 7, Sabronum. And we have Tolon, Sola, Akontomra, Asanweneso. These are all places. We've built 47 hospitals from scratch. 47. In fact, the one in Achiase, I was there when it was commissioned. Louisa, you see, what you don't know is that your boss, Sammy Jenfi, sat on Good Morning Ghana last week. And he was embarrassed because he peddled the same falsehood that you peddle. And the co-panelists listed a litany of hospitals that we have built from scratch to him. And he was embarrassed. Number 2, aside from the ones that we've built from scratch.
Kofi, let's come back to the conversation about education.
No, I'll come there. I'm coming there very, very quickly. Aside from that, Fomena that was started by Mills and Mahama, we have come completed and operationalized. Sechere Kumewu, we have come started by Mills, we have operationalized it. Wa started by Kufo, we have done it, operationalized it. So don't even go there when it comes to hospitals. Don't even attempt. You have an abysmal record. Aside from stealing things and appropriating it for Mahama, you have an abysmal record. Now, let me go to education. Louisa talks about free SHS. Louisa, the word free has a definition. If you go into... I thought
we had already established that. Where you
No. My line, I was told that my line was not good. So I want to make sure my point is well made.
Because in 10 seconds, so that we can...
please, 1 second, 1 minute, please, 1 minute.
Kofi, 1 minute is too much. I will give you 30 seconds.
I beg you. 1 minute. I'll finish it. Look, when we say something is free, free has a meaning. What President Mahama did was that he provided a subsidy of 50 cedis. The tuition for a student at that time was 485 cedis. And Mahama said that I'll pay 50 cedis out of that. If you pay 50 cedis out of 485 cedis, that is not free. That is at best a discount. If I go into a market and the product is 485, and the seller gives me a discount of 50 cedis, that cannot be termed as free. Free has a definition. You didn't start free SHS, neither did you start free progressive SHS. You have nothing, no record, none whatsoever when it comes to free education. Nothing. So stop peddling that falsehood.
Kofi, aren't you so let me use the word mothers would be about their children. You are covering your child so much. In this case, free SHS. You are holding free SHS so tight to your chest. Aren't you doing that because that is all you are running your campaign on? Some would say
how can it be all that we are running our campaign on? Please, how can it be all that we are running our campaign on when I just told you that we've built 47 hospitals from scratch?
The last time we spoke, we mentioned that per the IEA report, people are going to make decisions for the elections based on on free SHS and economy, and it looked like economy was ranking higher. Per various conversations, it seems that the NPP continues to bank a lot of hopes on the free SHS. Aren't you doing that because that is what is carrying you at the moment? That's why you are holding it so close to your chest.
My sister, the cocoa farmer in Sefia Kontomra, who used to buy a bag of cocoa for 75 cedis, and is now getting a bag of cocoa for 3,100 cedis. That is economy for that person. Okay? My sister, that cocoa farmer whose cocoa had been destroyed by swollen shoots, and that cocoa has been rehabilitated, planted all over again with economic trees, cocoa trees, and plantain. That is economy for that person. So economy comes in different forms and shape. That market woman who needs a good road to go to the market to be able to go and sell or buy his or her goods, that's economy for that person. That market woman who needs appropriate health care to be able to wake up and do her business, that's economy. So economy, when we talk about economy, it's a multifaceted aspect. Economy involves healthcare, education, infrastructure, etc. All of these things come together to form an economy. The Ghanaian, of course, is going to look at his immediate financial standing, but that Ghanaian is going to compare that to the future. What does the future portend for me and my children? Yes, I may find myself in an economic challenge today, but what does that mean for me 10 years from now, 4 years from now? Who is the leader who is going to transform this nation? These are the things that Ghanaians are looking at. It is not enough for somebody to say the economic challenges, and that person is not able to proffer a single cogent policy and be able to explain it. It's not enough. So it's not me banking my hope on free SHS. This conversation this morning was about free SHS. That is what this conversation has been about, and that is the reason why I discussed free SHS. We can talk about every aspect of the economy, being it agriculture, being it infrastructure, being it education, being it healthcare, and I'll be able to tell you what this government has done.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
No issues there. I only centered my issue on education because that was what the conversation was about.
Let me ask Louisa. To Louisa, if we were going into these elections because of the education policies or how the both political parties have positioned themselves in terms of education, do you think the NDC will be ranking high?
The NDC ranks high on all aspects because every indicator in this nation, comparing it to 2016, time has proven that 2016 is far better than 2024. That notwithstanding, you see, if you seek to put your hope and trust in a failed implementation attempt of a very fantastic policy, that is how you will struggle to make every situation end on a note of free senior highs. Kofi peddled a lot of falsehood this morning that I don't want to go his tangents of being a nation wrecker who is clothed in a garment of the sea. The issues that he raised on the free senior high school, that they have employed a lot of teachers. So employing a lot of teachers has literally translated into a lot of contact hours for students, which is a lie. It's a fallacy. It is a fallacy because if you employ a lot of teachers and you do not keep the students in the classroom for a very long while, a time enough, how do they get the contact hours with the teachers? So the double track system they are running now is that there is a gold, red, green, a traffic light educational system they have given us. So if children go to school, the gold track, they go to school for 3 weeks. Hitherto, in the old traditional system, we stay in the classroom for no less than 11 weeks. So you have employed more teachers and you're not keeping the students in the classroom. So where is the contact hours you have given us? And then too, he talks about Professor Mills commissioning UGMC and saying that Akufo-Addo will come and then operationalize the policy. Another lie, that you cannot even lie well with the accurate dates and fact check. Professor Mills, may his soul rest in perfect peace, was called home by his maker. He didn't end his term. So in 2012, President Mahama continued. At which point did Professor Mills, who was called home before even 2016, 2 elections after he was gone, tell Akufo-Addo to come and complete UGMC and make it operational? Such falsehood being peddled on such a great platform, all for what? To score cheap points. And now he mentions the hospitals that they have built, and he mentions a urology facility. Probably Kofi Tonto doesn't know that a hospital comes to various departments, pediatric units, psychology, oncology, that aspect for women. Every hospital has various departments. So if you give a urology department, my brother, it is not a hospital. It remains a department which is a unit under a hospital. So operationalizing, building a hospital from the scratch and operationalizing it is different. We should get that point right. From building a department, which is a unit of a hospital. That said, we talk about the licensure exams as Kofi wants us to believe this morning, that it is an introduction or a policy they brought into the educational sector for teachers to give them quality. Do you know the truth of that licensure? As I have always maintained, that if you can shout at the rooftop for all that we want to know, that you have done something, the realities on the ground are going to expose you. The double track system remains a stopgap policy that has exposed the shambolic implementation of the free senior high school under the NPP. So what the double track system sought to do is that there are no more facilities. The facilities are not enough for the numbers that are coming in for the free senior high school policy program. So we will need more teachers. So if the teachers are passing out of school, teachers are posted into facilities. So if we do not have the facilities for these teachers to work at, how do we introduce a stopgap for the teachers so that we stop the employment on a mass scale? So if we have to stop the employment of teachers on a mass scale, what then do we do? The licensure exams was not an exam for quality. I repeat, it wasn't an exam for quality as Kofi is deceitfully trying to make us believe this morning. It was a stopgap policy for teachers' employment. So if you have not passed the licensure exams, then in essence, you don't get employed. You have to reschedule and have a retake.
All right.
What the NDC is saying is that we are going to cancel the licensure exams because if Kofi is saying that licensing is what make our human resource that come out of tertiary schools a quality, then I want to ask, what of the numerous university students that pass out every year, who, by virtue of the fact that they have completed their education with the necessary GPA, have qualified to graduate, after their national service, they get employed directly without any licensure exams? So if we are saying that the teachers would have to go there to improve quality, the kind of human resource we are churning out from the other tertiary universities, they are not quality. So we are cancelling that policy because it is a stopgap to attach that to their final exam. Because every school, when you write your final exams, that is the exam that takes you to graduate, for you to become a graduate and be employed as such.
Louisa, we'll have
so
more.
When they write their final exam,
yes, we'll have more conversations. We'll have more conversations on this. Our time is fast spent, but we will most definitely come back to you for more conversation. Let me take Kofi's last submission and then we'll be done with this conversation. Kofi, there is going to be... Yes, no, Kofi's submission is because of something his government wants to do, and I want some more information on that and we are done. Kofi,
first of all,
please don't rebut anything anymore, so that I give you 30 seconds to finish.
My sister, people are listening, and rebuttals are very important because we won't allow Louisa to lie this morning
10 seconds, so that I can ask what I want to ask you.
Louisa made a categorical statement that we have not built a single or commissioned a single hospital. And I gave you a list.
Built and operationalized.
Yes, okay. Built, operationalized, whatever you want to call it, Louisa. The point is, when you were taking credit for UGMC, it was not even operationalized. And I said President Mahama commissioning it. I didn't say Mills. Mills built it.
You said Professor Mills. We can go back to play the tape.
Okay, what I was saying was that Mills built it. And when he passed, it was Mahama who came to commission and said when he's leaving, Akufo-Addo will operationalize it.
Okay, so Kofi, so you have given us this.
Let me make my point, please. Let me make my point.
Kofi, our time is fast spent, and this is something I really want to ask you about before you go.
So I'll finish very quickly. So listeners know, I'm saying that even that UGMC you take credit for, you didn't operationalize it, but yet you take credit for it. That's the double standard and hypocrisy. Number two, you said not a single hospital was operationalized. I've given you several, including the one in Mem, including the one in Achianse, Swame, Sabronumu, Asanweneso, etc. I've told you. And I've given you specialist hospitals or specialist units, whatever you want to call it, that we have done and operationalize it, like the urology center. I've told you that also. Let's also discuss contact hours.
No, okay, we'll come back to contact hours. We'll have more conversations on education. But government is set to commission some 80 educational projects. In 30 seconds, what are these projects and what's for?
These are educational schools. The government is going to commission schools, 80 plus schools that we have built. You know, when we came into government, they were making claims that they were building 100 e-blocks. They were only able to build 29 of them. We came and completed 30 of them, of the e-blocks. We have built universities. We have built Bunso University at about 60% complete. We have done Akumadan University. The one in Somenya, we have built phase 2 of it, etc., etc. But we have built secondary and junior level state-of-the-art modern institutions that we are going to commission 80 of them at a go. That is what we are doing this Thursday at exactly 10 a.m.
Okay.
80 at a go.
So after the commission, these 80 will come back for conversations on it and how government is going to make sure that we have the full expression of these projects. Louisa, we will also have more conversations on education with you. We'll do well that the day we are bringing Kofi, we are bringing you too, so that we can...
I hope they explain the education policies and not, parade around.
I hope you can take the discussion away from this real
Right, we'll have more conversations and you would have all the time to speak.
They don't
so thank you.
They don't even know
thank you, Louisa. Thank you, Kofi. We are grateful for your time.
When you means cancellation for you, how then do you understand?
Louisa Kwache is the communications team member of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and Kofi Tonto is a communications team member for the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. We've been having conversations about free SHS and the educational sector, what both parties are looking at doing. We earlier also spoke with Solomon Owusu, Senior Communications Officer for the Movement for Change. That's all for our discussion. We will be back. Stay with us. Let's head straight into politics today. My colleague Samuel Nyimadbo is on hand to give us some perspective into another constituency. Stay with us.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Only Baumia can be trusted to protect and improve the free senior high school program. I want to take you on a trip down memory lane. In 2008, candidate Akufo-Addo promised that he was going to introduce education reforms, including the free senior high school program, if he was elected as president. From that election till about 2016, the NDC has consistently opposed the free senior high school.
The government has budgeted 2 billion cedis for free SHS for this academic year. If you have 2 billion more to spend on education, will you spend all of it on free SHS?
That Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
Sometimes they say it's just politics. But the big picture is that consistently they've been against it. In fact, in election 2012 and 2016, they sponsored several adverts trying to convince the people of Ghana say free SHS no. Any.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't.
What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now. Good. Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament. Yes. The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-on?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana Television.
Of politics today. I am Samuel Nimabo, and in the next 15 minutes, I'll be bringing you the breakdown and analysis of one of a very intriguing constituency in the Greater Accra region ahead of the elections this year. I am talking about the Lejekuku constituency, known for its swing nature because they barely maintains an NP beyond 4 years. Even if you are an NDC NP where the area is dominant with NDC populace, even if you are an NDC NP, you find it difficult to move beyond 4 years. So in this next 15 minutes, I will bring you the breakdown of what to look out for the 2024 parliamentary and presidential election in the Lejekuku constituency of the Greater Accra region. Now, let me give you a brief breakdown or understanding of what this constituency is or where it is located. Lejekuku, like I mentioned, is located in the Greater Accra region. It has Teshi at its main area. Teshi, you have part of Spinfest, has also been part of Lejekuku. It is bordered to the west by the Dade Kotopong constituency. It has Krowo as another border. It has the Ayaso West, even Ayaso West constituency as another border to it, and even the Adenta constituency bordering it. So it is within these enclave that you'll find Lejekuku, you'll find Teshi, Nungwa, and all these areas within the Lejekuku constituency. Now, this area is predominantly dominated by fisher folks. There's people who use or go to the sea to fish, and their issues are quite unique, because for every 4 years, they have different issues that inform their voter decision in the constituency. But before we go into the factors that might likely influence the voting pattern in the 2024 elections for the constituent of Lejekuku, let's bring you the breakdown of the presidential results over the years. Let's look at what the trend has been for both the NDC and the NPP, because in the Ghanaian elections, these two are the rivals. I mean, it is obvious. But perhaps in the 2024 elections, we might see another rival coming in a third force, either the Movement of Change, Alan Tramantin, or Cheddar of the independent candidate Cheddar, Nana Kwame Bediako as well. But let's look at the trend in the parliamentary results. This is the parliamentary results. Let's look at the trends in the parliamentary result. Now, from 1996, as seen, you have the NDC in the green graph, the green graph with their color, the NPP with the blue line graph. Now, from 1996, you would notice that NDC has dominated from 1996. They won the elections in 96. Lost it in 2000 and lost it in 2004 as well, came back in 2008 and won it, and then they won it in 2012, won it in 2012, lost in 2016, then came back in 2012 to win the elections. So yeah, that is what it looks like for the NDC in the Lejekuku constituency. So you look at the percentages with which the NDC has won within the constituency. Now, from 1996, they won it by some 49%. Some 49%. In 2000, they lost. 2004, they lost as well. In 2008, they won by some 57%. Now, in 2012, they won it by 55% as well. In 2016, they lost. In 2020, they won it by some 50.8% as well. Now, what this means, if you look at the trend, what it means is that for the NDC to win the parliamentary elections in the Lejekuku constituency, they must have at least some 49% of the vote cast within the constituency. The last time they had 49% and won was in 1996. So if the party want to win, they have to make the mark beyond the 49%. Now let's look at the NPP as well. They lost the election in 1996 when the constituency first had 8 major elections, won it in 2000, and won it in 2004 as well, with some 48% in 2000, some 43% in 2004. 2008, they lost the elections. 2012, they lost as well. But in 2016, they had a comeback with Bernard Okoboy. Then he was then a 2016 fresh candidate coming as a medical practitioner, a doctor coming in with the freshness of him, with that youthful vibe. Bernard Okoboy won the 2016 elections, but however, like the result always do in this constituency, as we call it, the swing constituency, it tables around. He couldn't maintain it beyond the 4 years. Then he lost the election to Ben Aiku, who came in 2020 and won the result. So that is what it looks like. Now, one thing I would say is that in all of these elections, from both sides, from 1996 to 2020, no single NP has won beyond 4 years. No single NP has won beyond 4 years. And another thing to look out for is no former NP has come back from a loss to win the elections in that constituency. That should be a very worrying situation for Bernard Okoboy, because the trend is no sitting NP gets more than 4 years. Also, no former NP comes back to win the elections in this constituency. So it is something that if Bernard Okoboy and the NPP wants to surpass, they have to put in the work. They have to work harder to break this jinx, because as it stands now, no former MP has been able to come back in that constituency to win the elections. But it's also another thing. No sitting NP in the constituency has gone beyond 4 years. So if Benjamin Ayiku of the NDC, Benjamin Ayiku Nethe of the NDC, who is contesting in these 2020 elections, win the results in these 2024 elections, he will be breaking that trend as well. He will be the first NP to surpass the 8 years, to surpass the 4 years jinx. After 1996, there hasn't been an MP that has had beyond 4 years in this constituency. So if Benjamin Ayiku is able to win this election, he will become the first MP to win twice since 1996. And if Bernard Okoboy, now health minister, before he was deputy health minister, if Bernard Okoboy is also able to win the 2024 parliamentary elections in Lejekuku, he will become the first former NP to stage a comeback in that constituency. So it is going to be a historic turn of events, no matter how the results turn out in this constituency. It's going to be historic. So there will be history that will be made in the 2024 elections in the Lejekuku constituency. So keep your eyes on this constituency. Now let's look at the presidential results as well in this constituency. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this constituency is predominantly NDC dominated. However, for the parliamentary elections, it has always been a swing constituency. So let's look at the presidential results, the trend in the presidential results within the Lejekuku constituency. In 1996, NDC won it as usual. 2000, they lost. 2004, they lost as well. That was the first two terms that the NPP won the elections in this constituency, presidential-wise, and even in the parliamentary. Now, 2008 to 2012, NDC came back with a win. They won in 2008, won in 2012, and even when they lost the parliamentary elections in 2016, they still won the presidential election in 2016. Then in 2020, they won it again. So and the NPP has not won in the presidential elections in Lejekuku since 2004. Since 2004, the NPP hasn't won in this constituency. They have to work very hard to be able to beat this trend, because, like I mentioned, this is a very strong hold for the NDC in terms of presidential results. So NPP must work very hard to win this seat as well. Now, this constituency for the NDC, like from 2004, they lost after the loss in 2004 in terms of the presidential election. They've won it up until 2020 elections, and even the polls are predicting that in the 2024 elections they are likely to win the presidential election, but the question mark will be on the parliamentary election. Now let's look at the percentage with which the NDC has won in this constituency. In 1996 they won by some 60%, 2004 55%, 2006 2008 55%, some 55%, 2012 some 56%, 2016 they had some 49.8%, and they still won it. In 2020 they won it by some 53%. So in this constituency, the NDC has won. They need just about some 49% to win these elections, or the presidential elections in this constituency, and that is what the NDC must work towards. That is the mark for the NDC in the Lejekuku constituency in the presidential elections. So this is how it looks like. Now, in the 2024 elections, there are two key contenders. Benjamin Ayukunete of the NDC, who is the incumbent NP for the area. Then we have the former NP, now Minister for Health, Bernard Okoboy, also coming in there. Now, these two are going to rival each other. 2016, two things, or let me even give you three things why Bernard Okoboy lost the 2016 elections. People said that, the constituent said that he was stingy. He wasn't giving money, he wasn't donating, he wasn't helping, he was stingy. That's one of the things. They didn't see him frequent in the constituency. He wasn't seen. He after winning the elections, they didn't see him that frequent enough as their NP. And then again, there was those who said that he didn't visit their ceremonies, like funerals, like naming ceremonies, weddings, and all of that. So these are some of the, you might describe it as petty, but to the constituent, these are key reasons that they will be voting. Now, he lost the election because of these things. What we are seeing in this year's election is that he has improved his visibility within the constituency. He's on the ground campaigning visibly and aggressively. Now, the sitting NP won the elections in 2020, but he will have to defend why the constituency will vote for him come 2024, come December 7, just 17 or 18 days to the elections. Just 18 to 17 days to the elections. So it is going to be a keenly contested, very keenly contested ballot within the Lejekuku constituency. For those of you who still don't understand, like I mentioned, it's a swing constituency. We might even see a skirt and blouse vote in the constituency, where likely the per the polls, we've seen polls from the Info Analytics predicting that the NDC will likely win the presidential elections, but likely the NPP might snatch the seat from the NDC. So it might be what do you call it? It might be a skirt and blouse situation within the Lejekuku constituency, and this is what it looks like for the constituents. And on December 7th, we would be keeping our eyes on the constituency to bring you all the live updates, the results that will come in. And even before December 7, we'll be previewing the constituencies as well, like we do every day on our morning show. And we'll be coming to your constituency. Your constituency might be the next one that we'll be doing the analysis on. And before I take leave of you, let me just remind you that the unfortunate incident that happened, O'Reilly SHS, that happened some few weeks ago. O'Reilly is within this constituency as well. Some notable locations you can find in Lejekuku is the Lekma Hospital as well. The Kweshi Lagoon is also in the Lejekuku constituency. So it has a bit of some tourist site, some historic site as well. And like I mentioned, O'Reilly SHS, with that unfortunate incident which became popular, is also within that constituency. And this is the Lejekuku constituency that we have given you the breakdown on. And as we do on Politics Today and on ABC, in ABC, we say that vote not violence. Here is our poll center, where we'll be bringing you all the live election build-up, all the build-up, the campaign promises, what you need to look out for, and how the results might likely turn out across the regions and across each of the constituencies. And I am always Samuel Nyimabo, bringing you ABC in the morning Politics Today.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children.
This is where the headlines are probed. Policies scrutinized through an objective lens with an unbiased approach to every discussion. Key in to a series of pulsating conversations with the hard questions.
Why do you still want to run when you have failed?
I haven't. What do you mean by failed?
In-depth analysis of policy proposals.
If it's a temporary program, why do we want to still create another gold reserve exchange program also to address a temporary issue?
If you introduce a temporary measure and you realize that the temporary measure works and is sustainable, you have to rethink whether or not it should just be temporary.
And every agenda and positions intellectually debated to set the record straight.
Look, you still don't answer the question now.
Go on.
Question is, if Article 78(1) is anything to go by, your ministers of state largely are supposed to come from the parliament.
Yes.
The law says that not less than 10 and not more than 19. So these are your cabinet, your ministers of state you're going to get. How do you intend to resolve? Have you thought about managing that head-up?
Absolutely. If I hadn't, I probably would not get on the fray to do this.
On Focus on ABC, we focus on the matter, the personality, and the answer beyond the rhetoric. Focus on ABC shows every Thursday at 7 p.m. only on ABC News Ghana television.
Politics today. Let's get straight into Happy Hour. Help you wish that loved one the best of wishes that you have in your hearts for them. Some people are celebrating their birthdays. Let's wish them a happy birthday. This is happy birthday to Tabitha Okainbia Eje from your mom, dad, and siblings. We are so incredibly proud of the person you've grown to be. Your kindness, strength, and laughter light up our lives every day, and we are so blessed to call you ours. Wishing you a year full of dreams coming true, new adventures, and all the love and happiness you bring into our world. We love you so much and celebrate you today. So happy birthday to Tabitha. This is coming from your mom, your dad, and your siblings. This is also a happy birthday to Edna. Edna from Ejayam Pons. And she says you're an incredible colleague and your dedication, hard work, and positive spirits make a world of difference every day. And Ejayam Pons wishes you a year filled with success, laughter, and well-deserved relaxation. Says thank you for always giving your best. You truly inspire those around you. Enjoy your special day. So Edna, a happy birthday to you. And that's it for Happy Hour today. If you also want to send a birthday wish, get in touch with us on our socials at ABC News GH _ and we'll be glad to help you. Up next, executive interview. is the segment where you want to come and talk about what you do. We'll be so glad to host you. Call us on 053-916-1609. Today on Executive Interview, we're looking at Dreams College of Creative Arts. And we want to see fashion trends as with Dreams College. And we'll be speaking with the founder of Dreams College, Dr. Clement Assemira. And he is the founding father of Dreams College of Creative Arts. And Assemira, he is a multi-award winning fashion educationist and has been lecturing since 2015. He developed and taught so many modules about fashion, and today we'll have conversations about that with him. Dr. Clement Assemira, thank you for joining us this morning. You're welcome. I'm sorry I butchered your name at the start. I'll do better.
That is fine. That is fine.
What is Dreams College? I, for one, have seen Dreams College over my social media feed, especially on Instagram, and I see some of the work there. Beautiful work. But what is Dreams College and what do you do there?
Dreams College of Creative Arts is actually an IED and Singapore Fashion Council endorsed led training institution in West Africa. We've been on this trajectory for the past 9 years. So we are in design business, skill acquisition, empowering the next generation of creative-led or individuals who have interest in fashion design. So it's a fashion design institution.
Okay. As a fashion design institution, what makes you stand out of the numerous number of fashion design institutions in the country?
So at Dreams College of Creative Arts, we are not just empowering our students with the technical skills, because when it comes to sewing, everybody feels it's just cutting and putting the clothes together. We groom our students from the creative, so from how to create designs, how to idea generate as a designer, mapping concepts, searching for inspiration, and also empowering them with the business knowledge. Because fashion is actually a multi-billion-dollar industry that once an individual is in there, it's not just like how our aunties who find themselves in the sewing business, they make clothes but have nothing to show. So when you come to Dreams, you are learning both the technical and you're being empowered business and creative-wise, so that it makes you very competitive globally.
Who qualifies to attend Dreams College?
Anyone who, but a basic or a minimum, you should be out of senior high school with great interest in fashion design.
Okay, so I for one, I say I want to enroll into Dreams College. I don't have any skills when it comes to fashion and designing, but I have interest in it. Will I find space in your institution?
Definitely. We have trainings for all levels. We have a beginner level, we have intermediate, and we have advanced level.
Okay.
So if you come in and you have the interest but have zero knowledge, we have the class that will take you from the scratch, to finish.
Okay, so run us through how we can enroll into it. The number of people watching us, maybe because of what you've just told us. And when we're speaking, I was paying attention to that draping the gentleman was doing in the video, and it's caught my attention. I want to come to Dreams College. What do I need to possess to be able to enroll?
Yeah, so firstly, not just about fashion, but whatever you want to do, we equally have to understand that it's not just about having passion or interest. Success now is more about discipline. So one thing I advise people when they want to enroll in the school is you should be disciplined enough to see your dream grow. Because if you're not disciplined enough and you just have passion or interest in something, you will start, and when the journey becomes tougher, you end up quitting. Because that's what a lot of us do. We start something and we don't see it to the very end. So if you're coming to Dreams, one, you obviously should have interest in wanting to take up fashion as a career. But most importantly, you should have that intrinsic motivation that you're not going to give up, and you are disciplined enough to wake up every morning just to see your dream grow. Yes. Once you have this in mind, yes, we are just a call away. You can reach out to us via our WhatsApp website, and we would first have a consultation with you to understand the level you have to come in. Whether you need a weekend school, you may be on a full-time job, but you want to take up fashion as a career or as a side job, you can come in and do a weekend school. We also have, if you're already on the job but you want to elevate the business, you want to get your business to a different level, we also have courses that is tailored for you. And if you have zero knowledge, so during consultation, we get to identify where you have to start or what is appropriate for you.
Right. So what are the various packages? You just mentioned that there's a beginner course, intermediary, and all. So what are the packages available for anybody who wants to enroll? And also, yes, let's answer that and then I'll ask my follow-up question.
Great. So we have the regular school that we have the fashion design technology. It's for people who want to learn from the scratch. You get in from level 1, and from when you're done with level 1, you do an internship. Then you move to level 2, which is an intermediate stage. After level 2, you move to level 3. If you've also done fashion already, or you've been to a school and you're unable to complete and you come in, you can still do the fashion design technology. However, you'll be interviewed. You have to come in for an interview and a practical session for us to confirm your proficiency, to know where to fix you, either to start from the level 2 or level 3. We also have the Victoria Sewing School. The Victoria Sewing School is for individuals who are very busy, but they just want to learn the act of sewing. It's a Saturday school that is very flexible. And we also have the Affaire de Couture and also Haute Couture Ecole. This is for brands, people who are already in the design business, but find the need of wanting to elevate what they do so that they can, compete globally. It's actually a Saturday school for brands. So these are the various programs available at Dreams College of Creative Arts.
So beyond the programs you're running, do you also offer services of making clothes and all? Maybe I want to come and sew a nice dress like I saw in your video, or my producer may want to also come and sew something. Do you offer those services?
Yeah, so we do that as well, because we are growing brands, so we have a lot of brands that we work with. So based on what you require or what you want to be done, we have departments that can handle that for you.
Okay. Christmas is coming, and we know Christmas goes hand in hand with some discounts, some freebies, and a lot of open hearts. What does Dream College of Creative Arts have this Christmas?
Oh yes, so Merry season is approaching, and we have a lot of events, a lot of outings, and looking good is a good business, and it's healthy for not just our mental health, but making us feel cherished and loved. So yes, anyone coming in, we have crazy deals per what you want to be done for you. We have cool discount offers, so we are inviting all who want certain cute stuff to be done for them for both the Xmas and the New Year season.
Okay, let us know where Dreams College is and how we can get in touch with you should we want to come, apart from the website, how we can get in touch with you.
So we are located at both Dansoman Hansonic Junction and also Mataheko Peace Clinic. And you can reach us on WhatsApp 024 192 7934 024 192 7934. You can also interact with us on our social media platform. We on Instagram is dreams.international, and we also have Fashion Masterclass Africa.
Okay.
And my personal handle on Instagram is Dr. Asem Enyera on Instagram as well.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Asem Enyera. We are grateful for your time. We'll do well to come to Dreams College. For those who can't sew, maybe we'll come and learn something small that we can use to fit ourselves here and there.
Exactly. The future of Africa now is in skill set. And that is what is empowering the socio-economic development of Africa. So it's very important all of us try to learn something. Let's forget the days where our parents would tell us, listen, you need to go to the university, you can't go and learn this. Now, trust me, those who are even in the skill set areas are making a lot of money. So yeah, you can find yourself in certain profession, but give yourself some chance. It could be even event. Now, event is making a lot of money. So we should all try and learn something skill to support ourselves. Thank you so much for also hosting me. Very honored.
Dr. Clemens Asemyira is the founder of Dreams College of Creative Arts, and he invites all of us to come by their place. You can get in touch 0541-024-192-7934, and you can find them all over social media, Dreams College. And that's how we end ABC in the Morning today on the 19th day of November in the year of our Lord 2024. A few days more to the elections. I hope you're gearing up, you're getting ready. Remember that it's only your vote that is needed. No violence. Don't allow yourself to be used as a tool or a conduit for any form of violence. Don't perpetuate any violence. Be mindful of the peace that we have and do everything to guard that peace. We'll come your way same time tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep your head up high. I am Abna Man.